We are the world, make a brighter day. So the choice we make it. We're selling now. Issue we make. We are the world. We are friends. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice to make it. We're serving all our future will make a better day. Just you and me. We are the world. We are friends. We are the world, make a better day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we make it. We'll say just you and me. We are the world. We are friends. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we'll make it. We're saving our lives. Each show will make a better day. Saving up in Nigeria, we be your friend. Them they carry our money at the area. Like no one know if we done trouble. All I want to let them know it's what's up. Hey, you could never eat on our side. Oh, everybody we want train or campsite. Oh, and that was sad now. Hey, I make it put our hands together. So that we go fight them to be up. We are friends. We are the world, make a better day. So let's start giving. We are friends. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start. There's a choice we'll make it. We're saving our lives. Each show will make a better day. Just you and me. As matters about me, as I take my time and sing reality. Didn't show who they hustle, who they muscle. Why some people that they cannot ever do? All we need is a great nation, which is Biafra in our. Share as I talk and so you go understand that. You go up your mind is my backbone forever. Make you tired the smoke by the general. We are friends. We are the world. I'm gonna tell you my story now, and that taproom at Port Harcourt, you know. I got a city. I haven't got plenty money on me, but I was stranded in a pop house apartment because I ran me. They said they like me, they love me, they love me, they love my beautiful voice. Listen, only song can do. Sing of a song, only song can do. And not here for a pleasure trip. I'm only here for a business trip. I'm gonna tell you my story now and that's up. If I happen to eat any problems, apart from it, as around me, say I get too many honeys and that's not what I'm looking for. I get too many lips and that's not what blazing the song. Only song can do my love. Song can do. I get too many honeys and that's not what I'm looking for. I get too many lips and I not what I'm looking for. All I want is not for plenty. All I got is just so right. Espera. All I got is just so right. It is true, Joe. You're not here for a pleasure trip. That is true. You're only here for a business trip.
I want you also to welcome other people. Um, I'm trying to check up on my audio to make sure that my audio are listening to me this evening. I want you please to indicate if you are hearing the sound of my voice loud and clear. came up in an emergency circumstances. Therefore, I would like to apologize if maybe you are offended the fact that we did not inform you that we are coming on air this evening. It is the way it's come up this comment line for those who have joined us on Facebook and those who are on YouTube, as well as all social media platforms. Please indicate if you are here. This is Biafra Radio, and like I said, we are live, we are direct, and it's in confirmation, of course, in earnest. I just want to make sure that we are coming out and the people are hearing us loud and clear. Of course, Taker has throughout his appearances, and we need to, of course, analyze everything this evening. All right. Mazi Yoku, if you can hear me, please indicate. This is Biafra Radio, and of course, we are live there. That's correct. All right. Mazi Chezoku have confirmed with me that he can hear my voice. And of course, that is the confirmation I needed. In order for me perspective, so that people can understand what has been going on and what has transpired in Abuja these two times. Our leader, and from my own understanding, I believe I can explain one or two things to our people, but not everybody going on. So my job this evening, what I can talk about today, I think is very important as well as imperative for me to start from the first day our leader quotes honor her because indicated very, very important that our people pay attention and listen. And once again, I want to apologize the fact that I did not advertise this broadcast. Like I said, I was having cold worth. Irrespective my best to come up and do, a little bit explanation, analysis, in-depth analysis for that matter of what happened in court today. But before, like I said, we go to what happened in court today. I want us to start from the first terms. And of course, like I said, it is our responsibility to analyze the same to our people. Now, before we start, first of all, I need to explain to you, ex parte application means that you are making an application against somebody or orally basis. Okay, so that is what is called ex parte. Application. So the prosecution team in our leaders matter the Honorable Judge Justice to do for them. They want the Honorable Justice or witness can testify behind the screen. A witness can cover their face. It is allowed live. So a witness can ask the court for that by making an application. But the problem there is that when the application was made, this team that were representing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu were not testify behind the screen. They cannot testify or decision, but they did it behind our defense back. They did it on their own. That is why it is called ex parte. Because they know that if they do it normal, the way you will say we want this to happen, they call PW, but here in South Africa we call it A1 witness. It's all the same thing. There are a witness who testified already and who has been cross-examined, and of course cross-examination will continue. as the day goes up. So these are the witness. Their A1 witness will testify behind the screen. Entity will be protected, that nobody will know his name. Let's say if his name is Cornelius, when they call him out in court, they will not call him Cornelius. They may call him witness A or witness B or whatever name they chose the honorable court to grant them. So they want this matter. I need my identity protected. I need who I am. So I'm saying this just to clear the atmosphere. People who are saying, why did they allow this person to cover his face or to hide himself? There's nothing wrong with that. It is allowed in law. All right, so let's move along. I've explained that and I've cleared that up so that now a layman can understand that what happened in courts, the reason why the witness identity was not known, they shouldn't have done it ex parte. They should have done it in an open court. They should have done it in front of the defense team so that the defense team can have a say in high courts. What happened was the witness for the prosecution. Now, in a trial, the prosecution lead the witness, they lead the evidence because they are the prosecution. Remember, they are the one who are alleging that you committed a crime. So they are the one who will do what? Lead evidence. So they started by leading evidence. Who are going to start first by asking their witness questions? So that is how it started, of course, in Abuja High Court. The witness was called in. He takes an oath. He's a Christian. Um, took an oath with the Bible. And of course, confirm that time would you say that you know the accused person? You don't. The only opening up a can of worm, because there might be an intention, there might be an intent that you want to incriminate this person. But of course, he said that he knows Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and you don't say that, but he did. So he stated that in 2015, he was sent on a mission with his team to arrest the defendant, which is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, at Golden to person, but Nigeria, they use defendant. We use defendant here in a civil matter, and of course, this is definitely not a civil matter. It is a criminal proceeding, but then it is what it is. So he said that in 2015, he went to a place called Golden Tulip Hotel in Lagos to arrest Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because he was sent to do so. So the witness continue again, of course, says in 2015 he was sent on a mission with his team to arrest Mazi Nnamdi Kanu at Golden Tulip, Lagos. He went with his team to the hotel, but the hotel management wouldn't allow them, as the management claimed they didn't have any guest by the name Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I'm just trying to narrate, what the witness stated, and of course from there we will continue. I'm just building up from there so that you can understand where we started and of course where we are at this moment and what is going to happen as the days go by. So he claimed that of course the hotel manager said he doesn't have any guest by the name Nnamdi Kanu, and of course, so okay, then of course the mandate that a room-to-room searches be organized in that 303. Initially, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu resisted arrest, he said, when we got to his room, but Bolaji, one of us, talked with him and he calmed down. We then packed his bags, including his broadcasting item. There is a reason why I want you to listen to me and ban what is happening in this trial. Very, very important. It is our job and our duty to narrate and, of course, break it down to a layman perspective for you to understand so that you can follow the event as they unfold with the days coming back. So they pack his equipment, they said, then that's what he said, with microphones. And he said we left with him to the command office in Lagos, where the items we got from him were listed on a sheet of paper. Nnamdi Kanu confirmed the items were his. The time was 12 a.m. That was in the morning. The list containing the items recovered from Nnamdi Kanu has been accepted and marked as exhibits. Nnamdi Kanu was interviewed after he was brought to the DSS, and the interview was recorded. The video recording of the said interview was being submitted and is being admitted as exhibit. Now, I want you to follow me very, very, closely and pay close attention for that matter. The first video exhibit played, and all MNK said was he started the movement for the good of Ndibo. This is what the so-called video they recorded of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, that he started the movement of Igbo. He said every of his broadcasts isn't hidden. They are all on Facebook. And of course, that is correct. So there's no secret organization somewhere. The DSS asked him the people he was working with. He did his work alone, does the broadcast all by himself. And of course, our leader broadcasts alone. He doesn't broadcast with anybody. Second video started but has been suspended. Maybe later. They tried to play the second video, of course. It is not playing. It has been corrupted. Remember, all this equipment is over 10 years old now. Over 10 years. And you cannot store exhibit for that long because it can contaminate. And once an exhibit contaminates, you cannot, rely on it. It can be a break in chain of evidence because the possibility are the exhibit. All right, so the first witness submit list of evidence indicting the defendant, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, on the levied charges. Hard copy of evidence is being visually transmitted before the court. The first video exhibit played, all MNK said, like I said, was he started the movement for the good of Ndibo. He said every of his broadcasts is not, he didn't have said that before. So after airing of evidence presented by the prosecution first testimony, the defendant, their witness, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has denied accusations of inciting violence through his broadcast, insisting, of course, that his well televised streamlined audio messages were directed in exerting the right of self-determination of the Igbo race. The items that were recovered from Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in 2015. Very, very important. Remember, this is the so-called item they had on Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the so-called item they are using to charge him for terrorism and inciting violence. So I want you to listen very carefully, and of course, and you be the judge and tell me if such items constitute terrorism. Now, here are the items that were recovered from Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in 2015 at Golden Tulip Hotel in Lagos. A black laptop, one black laptop, two multi-mix transmitter, a mixer, mini white notes Apple iPad with pouch, one gray Apple iPad with pouch, one gray MacBook with pouch, one gray MacBook with case, one mini drone sound wave speaker, two mini white speakers, one large computer mouse, one white adapter, one laptop adapter. So this is what was received from Mazen Nnamdi Kanu or recovered from Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. So in other words, when they are saying that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu committed the act of terrorism, they are saying that he used the laptop to commit terrorism. He used a mixed transmitter. He used a mixed transmitter. He used an Apple iPad to commit terrorism. So I want you to take note. It should have been 13 items. One of them is missing. So now you ask yourself the question, why did this witness, the star witness, remember this is a star witness. Now, in a case, the first witness you call is the person who holds your case, the person who makes or break your case. Now, for the interest of those who are listening to me all over the world, back a bit, and of course, you might know, let me see if maybe I can just show a picture of our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu for the interest of those who are not. There you go. So this is Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. I just want to introduce him briefly, then I will go back to for those of you who don't know, he is a British citizen and also a Biafran citizen. And of course, he's Biafran citizen by birth and a British citizen. He is a leader of a group called IykeObed. And IykeObed simply means indigenous people of Biafra, people who are indigenous of Biafra. That's what IykeObed simply means. And what is he agitating for? He is agitating for the freedom of his people, the Biafran people. Some of you who know the name Biafra, if you can go as far back as 1970, 1960s, you will realize that there was a civil war between Biafra, Nigeria, and of course, when I say Biafra, it's not just Biafra, Nigeria, which Britain, of course, is part of that war. Britain, of course, joined forces with Nigeria, Egypt, and of course, this old Soviet Union, and of course, they went on against a small, tiny little Biafra, and that is, of course, when the genocide happened, and the genocide of Biafra is the only genocide that comes after the genocide of Israel, after the massacring, the killing of the Jews, of course, of when the Jews were slaughtered, 6 million. The only genocide that come close to that of the Jewish people is that of Biafra. But unfortunately, nobody talks about the genocide of Biafra. It becomes hidden. It becomes something that nobody want to talk about. It becomes hear no evil, see no evil. And until today, they sat on that genocide of over 3 million Biafrans, men, women, and children. And of course, the numbers can be argued, but we're just saying this number for now 3.5 million of Biafran and children that were starved to death. So, and now he is saying, my people are being marginalized in a place called Nigeria. My people are being treated unfairly. And of course, I want them to be free. Now, you ask yourself, is he a secessionist? No. The word secessionist does not even come closer. He is fighting for the freedom of his people based on the umbrella of the United Nations. I don't know if you've heard about the right of indigenous people to self determination. That is what he is fighting about, the right of indigenous people to self determination, which is enshrined under, of course, the umbrella of United. That is what he is fighting for. So, what he is fighting for is legal. He is not fighting a war that is illegal. He is not fighting the Nigerian state. But all he is saying is, let my people go. And if you don't think so, reduce it to a referendum so that the whole world will see whether Biafrans are keen on leaving Nigeria or not. That was the only crime he committed. And now they come up with all trumped up charges of terrorism, inciting violence, and what have you. But self determination is legal. It is a law, it is an international law recognized by all humanity. And of course, it cannot be conceived to be a terrorism act. So that is Mazen Kano, and that is what we are talking about today. He's been incarcerated for over 3 years now, and of course, they went to Kenya and kidnapped him, and then of course left him in DSS dungeon for over 3 years, and now he is facing charges that does not make sense. And of course, they are failing to prove the so-called terrorism charges against him, as this trial has entered into the second day. All right, so I just want to briefly explain who is Nnamdi Kanu. He is Biafran by birth, and of course, a British citizen. But Britain has turned their backs on him because Britain you will always find the hand of Britain in the cookie's jaw because that is what they are good at. They don't ask about their citizen, they don't care about their citizen because he is fighting for what is just. All right, we must continue. So I've done that, and I'm going to go back to my analysis, to what I've been trying to explain to you about the trial that is ongoing. So, where are we? Let me proceed. Now, like as 2015, remember there was 2017, there was 2022, yes, the last one. There was 2015, but they never mentioned it because they know they had no jurisdiction in all those years I've just mentioned. They used 2015 because they arrested Mazen Kano then in Lagos, so that they're using it so that they can claim jurisdiction. That you know what, we can try him in Nigeria because he was arrested in 2015 in Lagos. But what about the last arrest? Nobody's talking about it. You kidnapped him from Kenya. You extraordinary rendited him back to Nigeria. And we all know know that extraordinary rendition is a crime against humanity. But whichever one. All right, so this is actually what happened. And that one has already happened. Was for evidence in chief, and of course, it was prosecution case to call their witness, take him through question and answer, and of course, today is cross examination, meaning the defense get their turn, the defense get their opportunity to, of course, question or cross-examine legally, if I may put it that way, the witness. And our legal representative, San Agabi, of course, did justice to that. And let's see what happened today in court as well. So, our legal representative, San Agabi, of course, started his cross-examination, and that is meaning reducing the witness to cross-examination. You know, all the things he have said on day one. Now he need to question him again on that in order for him to clarify his answers. And the first question he asked him was, when you obtain a statement from the defendant, Mazen Kanu, in 2015, when you the office in Lagos, he asked him to obtain the statement from him. Was his lawyer present? That was the question Mr. Agabi asked him. And the state witness said, yes, I'm aware. Yes, I'm aware that his counsel wasn't present when he was interviewed. Now, you don't do that. How do you, of course, interview an accused person without his lawyer or his legal representative being present? You are not allowed to do that because that is violation of his right, violation of his fundamental human rights. All right, I just want to make it to do that. Get out with me and don't go away.
It's time to break loose from the chains. It's time for our freedom. Because we can never let them. Hundreds of years is gone. No Messiah told us that Jesus died for us. For the black man still they suffer. The truth be said, Africa will rise at the root now. No one can hold the truth for a long time. Oh, no. So stay away. The sun is risen from the east, and no one is gonna try to free them for Biafra. Free. Let Africa rise. Freedom for Biafra. Freedom. Freedom, the Gano. Black man seeking for self-determination. Onde cedo se come, e a frana, Let my people go. No. Pharaoh rapon de mo kahana. Chineke weni hamne. However, wapo mawe. Darana. Deve kogi. Isha. Ikuru onu. Adigone nura kwanga nebe. Ewe ne megi ne mozu mura. all over us. I can see it now all over us. Reach out, overcome, yeah, yeah. Reach out, overcome, yeah. Reach out, overcome. God bless our people, God. That's how we want to play. Oh, hey, this is our freedom time. Oh, yeah, baby, son, don't cry. Man, we keep on moving forward. We promise to moving forward. That's how we multiply. God bless my baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Enough respect to leadership or the one of people like think come is the things I don't come again, you know. All we need is the referendum. All we need is the referendum. All we need is the referendum. Tell me what you do, tell me what you do, tell me what you see, tell me what you see, tell me what you know. I always talking about the referendum. Can you feel me? Oh, color, time, back in the days, you know what's up.
All right, welcome back once again. What we happening? There we go. All right. We had a bit of interruption, of course, and that is why we are off air for a couple. And we have talk about two things, very very important. Now, You need to understand and bear in mind that our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being charged for terrorism. And that is, of course, part of the charges. The biggest one there, of course, is terrorism. Now, if you are charging somebody with terrorism, you better come to party. You better bring the evidence needed for you to be able to convince the honorable court terrorism. What can somebody do? Remember, these things, of course, are guided by the law. They are not just something you can take out of your hat or take out of your cap and say you're a terrorist, but you need to prove it if you say somebody is a terrorist. Now, the evidence that the states, or rather the prosecution team, has on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the item I've read out for you, the 12 items, which are you and everything is fine. No. Remember, he who alleges must be able to substantiate that cross-examination. A very, very important question. And that question for me is the make or break it of this case. That question for me is a checkmate. Now, what was the question that Agabi posed to this with equipment on him? Am I not? Or intimidation, typically targeting civilians to achieve political, ideological, or religious goals. Key elements include, these are the key elements of terrorism. Every crime, in every crime or every offense, there has to be an element to that offense. Like now, is to intentionally, there has to be an intent, the willingness to do something, the intention to steal something that belongs to another person in order to deprive them of the use of that item. If those elements are not, because there has to be an intention to do it, there has to be a plan, a preemptive mind to deprive the owner of their property forever, permanently. And elements that has to be proven by the state, by the prosecution team in order for them to convict Mazi Nnamdi Kanu of terrorism. Now, we call it mens rea. A deliberate aim. Do you hear that? A deliberate aim. You sit down, you plan it very well. I want to go out there and I want to institute or instill fear in the minds of the people. So intent is a deliberate aim to cause fear. It's like bombing, shooting, or hostage taking. Often, IPOB have not shot at anybody before. IPOB have not bombed anybody before. So, in order, you need to prove, first of all, that the person had an intention to commit such a crime. There has to be an intention, very important. And when the intention is there, the person might have used violence. What kind of violence are we talking about? We're talking about violence of bombing. We're talking element of terrorism. All right. So let me go deeper. Now, motivation, that's another element. Driven by political, religious, ethnic, or ideological agenda. Then we have targets. Another element that must target often civilians or symbolic sites to maximize fear and impact. That means the same thing that Fulani herdsmen are doing, the same thing that Fulanis are doing in Nigeria is actually terrorism. So you have to target the people. Fulanis target people. They will target people in the southeast, go to their farm, destroy their farm, and instill fears into an old women who are farming. They will go to a village and slaughter everything. That is terrorism. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu could have not committed terrorism with those 12 items that they found on him: a microphone, iPad. He couldn't have used those things to instill fear or violence in anybody. So you can not be charging somebody with terrorism and you're not producing the evidence. You are not producing something that shows that indeed this person is a terrorist. Isn't that madness? That you are saying that somebody committed a crime of terrorism and you are bringing a laptop to court, bringing a radio to court, bringing a microphone to court. It does not make sense at all. And no wonder the Honorable Judge said that he couldn't wait for this case to finish. And that is why they've put in this case to the 6th, to the 7th, to the 8th. He wants to finish everything as soon as possible. With all due respect, I am a junior lawyer. If I'm given this case, I will finish it in one day. And there, it's what does... And you are not going to win a case with such evidence, with such weak evidence, with such poor evidence of poor quality as such. What you should have done is to withdraw the charges. Yes, it's not a thing of ego. It is execution. You can do and undo. No, if there is no evidence that a competent court can convict, there is no need to proceed. Unless you are 100% sure that the evidence gives you conviction, then you continue. This PW so-called witness that is currently testifying at the moment, he is what we call a star witness. He is the witness that will win the case for the prosecution or lose the case for the prosecution. Any other witness that the state is calling or the prosecution is calling is not coming there to do magic. It's only coming there to collaborate what the first witness have already said. You cannot call your best witness last. No, you call your best witness first, which is what the prosecution have done. And we have seen how poorly that witness have performed. So if they call another witness again, it will be to come and collaborate. I'm still a school, and I want you to compare what you're telling you and what the state is, of course, presenting to court, if that is indeed what is needed for you to convict somebody of a crime of terrorism, which is a high treasonable crime. All right, so we spoke about targets. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have not targeted anybody. Our gospel as IPOB is only focused in the East. Our gospel as IPOB only focused in the so-called Southeast. We don't preach Biafra to the Yorubas. We don't preach Biafra to the Hausas. We don't preach Biafra to the Fulanis. We only preach Biafra to those who are Biafrans. And how can we terrorize our own people? We've never done that. Because he who alleges must be able to, of course, substantiate that which they are alleging. It is not enough to come and say you committed an act of terrorism. But when it's time for you to produce the evidence that proves that fact. All right. I want to see the Nigerian law. How does it, translate the word terrorism? I never know. Maybe terrorism in Nigeria means radio. Maybe terrorism in Nigeria means microphone. Maybe terrorism in Nigeria means laptop. Maybe terrorism in Nigeria means an iPad. Maybe it means speakers. I don't know. But let's see. Unbelievable. Now you ask yourself, is this the reason why these people have detained Mazen Nnamdi Kanu all these years? Is this the reason why they have detained him all these years? Because of radio equipment. And we are expecting them to produce bombs, produce AK-47, produce all violent sort of equipment. But yet we have not seen anything yet to prove to us indeed that he committed the act of terrorism. Agabi was asking witness me, maybe hallucinating, or I don't understand what I'm talking about. All right. I just want to check something. Let's see what terrorism according to Nigeria law. Nigerian law. Yeah. I just want to see, like, maybe we need to be sure, for the sake of doubt, let's check what Nigerian law talks about terrorism. Now, listen to me. Listen. In Nigeria, terrorism is primarily defined and regulated under the Terrorist Prevention and Prohibition Act of 2022, which repealed the earlier Terrorism Prevention Act of 2011. And it's 2013 down to Nigerian, perspective, because that's where the whole thing is happening. So of course, at the end of the day, it is Nigerian law that decides, whether Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is guilty or not, whether he committed what they said he did or not. So let's see, because this is the law they're going to use at the end of the day. They cannot create a law suddenly, but they're going to use what is already existed. So, definition of terrorism according to Nigerian law. The Terrorism Prevention Prohibition Act 2022 defines terrorism as any act that involves violence or intimidation, deliberately causes or attempts to cause death, serious bodily harm, or I want to know if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is causing violence through radio when he cannot see anybody face to face, through the airwaves. So listen and follow me along, because this is what Nigerian law is talking about: terrorism and the meaning of terrorism, of course, and the elements of terrorism and what you can describe as terrorism as far as Nigerian law is concerned. Intends to achieve specific objective, intimidate or cause a government, an international organization, or segment of the population, influence government policy or action through fear or coercion, destabilize or disrupt the political, economic, social, or constitutional structures of Nigeria or another country, involve specific acts. This includes but are not limited to, attacks or cause serious harm, kidnapping or hostage taking, use of explosive, firearms, or other dangerous devices to cause widespread harm, disruption of critical infrastructure or public service, example, transportation, communication, or energy system, financing, supporting, or facilitating terrorist activity, acts and violent international convention on terrorism, such as hijacking or attacks on diplomatic entities. Now, all these things I am talking to you all and are telling you are the same thing that Fulanis are doing. They are looking for terrorists. They created a law that is telling us what actually construed terrorism. You are hearing it right now. The same thing that Fulanis are doing. So why are they arresting their brothers for? They do it on social medias. They do a lot of things without fear. Fulani does everything. But let me try. I just want to show you something, to show you how what the Fulani does these days. They don't care who you are. They do it openly. Before, when they commit this atrocity, the Fulanis, they do it behind closed doors. They don't want to be caught. They don't want anybody to see them. But my brother, I'm telling you right now this. Remember, they are busy going to Biafra land, arresting people who are spraying money, right? People who are spraying money in a function. They've arrested a lot of Biafran people for spraying money. But I want to show you something very bad. Trying to get this to play.
ابشر يا عم مساكن ابشر والله ابشر والله ما شاء الله
All right.
هاي
Now,
والله ما شاء الله والله دي قروش الكيزان
so,
كلب
volume is not playing.
سمعت
Just to have a look.
يا
Nigerian
وجه
money. This app, they should be
اول حاجه
looking
دي
for.
قروش
Look at them. This is Naira.
ودي
Money,
قروش
the ransom, the money they got from
دي
the
برضه قروش
kidnapping business.
دي برضه قروش
Nobody is
عربيه
talking
مليانه قروش
about it. Nobody.
ابشر
What it to of a nation.
ابشر الله
Are
اكبر
you looking at this?
نشور عليه
These
سبحان الله
Fulanese, they are
كلب
not
مالك
hiding
كيزان
their face.
ودي كلها عربيه مليانه قروش
They are not hiding. What?
هاي فلول دل هاي شوف الفلول دل هاي والله
This is
هذا الكلب
the money they got business. They have sponsors, people in power, people in government who are
يا اخي ما بترتب
sponsoring
زاد
them.
ها والله
They
يا
are not
عظيم ما
afraid.
بترتب
Look at
زاد
their faces. They are not hiding
هاي
it.
الله
Are you
اكبر
telling me
والله
that if something
هاي
like this could happen in
ده كله مالك
Southeast, that by now we should not be counting bodies? Looking for, they know where to find them, but definitely they are not looking for any terrorists. Rather, they're looking
اول شنو
with
يا جماعه ابشروا يا جماعه
Biafra
ما بترتب
radio,
زاد
microphone.
ما عارف رتبها
They're looking for
كيف زاد
people with speaker, laptops. Nigeria is
ما بترتب زاد
taking Mazen
دي برضه
Nnamdi
قروش
Kanu to court.
دي
For
برضه
what?
قروش
For an unsubstantiated allegation.
دي برضه قروش عربيه مليانه
That's
قروش
the real terrorist here.
رتبوا رتبوا
With
دي برضه قروش
Naira, where does this money come from?
هاي
Never
ده كله
ask
قرص
yourself
والله
that.
ابشر عمك
This kidnapping has
مالك كيزان ودي كلها عربيه مليانه
about it. Nobody is talking anything about it. All right. So this is where we are going to stop today, of course, and we will continue again because on the 6th, 7th, and 8th, if I am not mistaken, I need to get my facts straight. I just want to know when next our leader will appear in court. And of course, we will follow events as they unfold. I just want to get the date correct. So for those who are not aware of the date, they will, of course, hear the date of our leader appearance in court. All right, I'm just looking for that. Please bear with me. Very, very important. I believe it's the 6, 7, and 8. I am is actually the correct date of the next appearance. Well, where do I find this? I know it is the 6, 7, and 8. That's what I know. But I just gotta be sure. Bear with me, please bear with me. I need to get this date. And then of course, we will begin to wrap up this day. And I hope, of course, we have you know, brought this to a layman perspective. And we have, of course, help you to understand one or two things that happen in court and why and what are the meaning of those things that happened today in court. All right, I'm still looking for it, but I know I'm going to find it right now. Yeah, just 1 second. Um, all right. Please give me. Hmm, I'll get it now. There we go. Let's see what we got. Hmm. All right. What is the date of the court appearance? Very, very important. All right, we must continue, and I'm looking for it. And I believe before we sign out here, I will be able to give you the date. I will be able to give you the date of the next court dates appearances, but I know it's definitely the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th. There we go. I've got it now. I am actually correct. I am actually correct, but we want to make sure that we are giving you the correct back to the mood we are in. All right. So the next court date, of course, of Mazen Amdekano will be on the 6th of May. Well, of course, 6th of May is Tuesday, and then the 7th of May, which is Wednesday. My apologies, please. I did apologize initially. I'm having a bit of a cold, so please don't. Yeah, okay, right. Thank you very much, Mazezumezu Ikechukwu, of course, helping out here the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th of May, of course, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. As you can see, the judge is trying to finish up this matter. There is some comments credited to the judge. I'm not sure how true that is, but let's see. I just want to read that comment credited to the judge, if that is anything to go by. There you go. The last time I asked, I wouldn't hesitate to approve the application. Now, listen to this. The judge is asking, of course, the defense team to make an application so that some of the equipment of Mazenam Canada was confiscated from him. I'm talking 2015, of course, be released back to him. Now, this is very funny. I tell you why it's very funny. Those that were supposed to be exhibits, which they are supposed to use, of course, to convict Mazen Kanu, so to say. But now the judge is asking the defense to make an application so that those, exhibits will be released to Mazen Kanu. And for me, that is checkmate. It means that the state's so-called evidence is reducing to none. So, and the judge further said here, this is a statement attributed to the judge. Let's see. All right. He said the court has been adjourned 6th, 7th, 8th of May 25. The matter must come to a conclusion by the 8th of May 2025. It has lingered for 10 years, and I'm not going to slow it anymore. We are going to give account of our actions here on earth when we die. I want to a good account. All right, so this is what the judge said, or rather what was attributed to him. And then the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, we are waiting again to see who is the next witness that the prosecution will be calling in. And of course, whoever they call in, he will go through evidence in chief, meaning the prosecution would take their witness through a question and answer marathon. And thereafter, the defense, of course, will reduce the same witness to cross examination. And then, of course, there will be a closing argument. And the prosecution might choose to close their case. And once they close their case, the defense, of course, will decide what they want to do. Here in South Africa, what we know application for section 174 application, which means we will tell the judge that the prosecution has not enough evidence for this honorable court to convict, therefore that this matter must be struck off the roll, or rather withdrawn. I don't think withdrawn is the right word, but rather struck off the roll. And if that fails, of course, they will go into argument, unless the defense feels they want to bring on a witness as well. But if not, that is the case, then they will go into an argument whereby the prosecution will try to impress on the Honorable Court why they think they have a case that is beyond all reasonable doubts to convict Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And of course, the defense will bring their own argument to say that the state has not proven their case beyond all reasonable doubt. Therefore, there is not enough evidence for the Honorable Court to convict. All right. My name's Barrister IykeObed. I thank Chukwu Kabiama who has given me the strength. Our comrade Mazi George may usually comes up as well. Then in the evening we come to analyze whatever that might have been said or whatever has transpired in court. I beg your pardon, in court. We'll break it down to a layman perspective. So I want to thank you all for joining me this evening. I know it's been a long time, it's been a while, but of course we will do our best. So we would come back again on the 6th, and I said that the 6th is on Tuesday. 6th, we'll come back on the 6th, 7, and 8 inspired in court to help our people to understand what has been said, even both in legal terms, and bring it back to a layman perspective. Thank you all, and I plead with you all to continue to pray for our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Put him in your prayers that Elohim will, of course, give him the victory that he has deserved, and restore, of course, his freedom, restore everything that he has lost, and of course, restore even his radio equipment that they have taken from him for over 10 years. Yes, and they're going to restore it. They're going to even pay him, because after this, we definitely go to civil and sue them for unlawful detention for all these years. My name is Barrister IykeObed, and from me, from here, it is goodbye and God bless.
Yeah.